third time's a charm. For some reason, we're having some connect issues up here in my yarn studio. And so we clicked off. So if you're just clicking in, this is Sara Sach of Posh Pooch Designs and Elisabeth Spivey with Calleigh's Clips and Crochet Creations. And if you didn't know this, she's my daughter. And she has the crochet page, like I said, at Calleigh's Clips and Crochet Creations. And we're doing a live video here today up in my yarn studio. And this is the third time we tried, because the first time we clicked off in the middle. The second time it just would not reconnect. And so now I'm using my phone. I really like to use my iPad because it gives me a much bigger screen. But we're using the phone today, which is fine. So, sorry. It's a really snowy, blowy day today outside here in Parker, Colorado. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. So we're going to start all over. And I'm going to go in and delete those other ones. How about that? Good morning, Karen.
Oh, Karen can hear us.
Yay, you can hear us.
We're having all kinds of issues.
We've been having a rough morning, but we are determined to have a live video chat with you
know
guys.
What we need to do? We didn't start off with a good clink. We need
That's
a good
what
clink.
it is.
Clink. This is going to work.
This is going to work. Hello.
Go, it's yours.
Yeah. Hello from Ohio. Hello, Trish. Well, I'm so glad you all are here and putting up with our silliness today. Now, we're just going to start over. We're not going to... good morning, Petra.
See, this is working like so much better.
Yeah. We're going to pretend like that other video didn't exist because I'm just going to delete it. And we're going to start with this one. So we're going to start completely over. And so I'm going to tell you, don't forget, every day I'm doing a $1.50 deal where one of my paid patterns is $1.50. And I've been doing them for 2 days because Facebook's not real good about getting the message out as much as I try. Today's pattern for $1.50 is the Mohawk dog hat. That's my granddaughter. Hey, come over here and poke in. Anyway, it's the Mohawk dog hat, and it has 3 sizes included. Here's Calleigh. That's who Calleigh's Clips and Crochet Creations is named after. And that's my second granddaughter. I have a grandson, Aiden. I have granddaughter Calleigh, and then I have Zoe granddaughter. So anyway, go grab that Mohawk dog hat pattern. 3 sizes included for $1.50 today and tomorrow. And then also on Friday, Black Friday. Good morning, Tina. Black Friday through Cyber Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. All my patterns, all Calleigh's Clips patterns will all be 75% off in our Ravelry shops. And the only thing you have to do is put in the code FRENZY, F-R-E-N-Z-Y, Frenzy. You know, frenzy means crazy, doesn't it? Works for today, doesn't it? Well, along with having my grandkids here, I got my grand Pooches too. And y'all have seen her picture before. This is Lucy.
Right here.
Elizabeth's going to tell us about a little pattern she's got.
Well, since we're with Posh Pooch Designs today, I have a few fun little patterns. They're not new, but if you don't know me, they'll be new to you. But we call these little head pieces, and they're so quick and easy to make. It's basically just like a little round circle, and then you put little ear things on, and then the little... Lucy's nervous.
Isn't she pretty, though? She's so pretty.
She's a beautiful, lovely little black chihuahua that we rescued. She's a Christmas puppy, actually, so I made this for her when we rescued her. If you want to know her story, my husband found her at a 7-Eleven. She was just wandering around, and we checked her, and she didn't have any little chips or anything. She was probably about 6 months old. She was itty-bitty, and she's been with us for 2 years now. And then we got her sister last year. So anyways, we have these cute little headpieces on the blog. I think there's 4 or 5 different little fun ones for the season. And if you don't like to make them for your dogs or cats, they also work really cute for your kids' little stuffed animals if you want to decorate them up for fun. Yeah, she
is a pretty baby. She's sweet.
Yeah.
She's Maximo's girlfriend, I think. He really likes her.
They do. They all get along really well. We've got 4 puppies with us here. So.
My 2 and her 2.
But I'll post the link to my blog. It's a fun little, cute little scrap yarn for you.
Yeah, she's got a pumpkin and an acorn and an apple. It seemed like there was one more, and I can't remember what it was. We were talking about that earlier.
But there's a list. They're all kind of grouped together. You'll find them on there.
I have a blog of mine also that has all of them together with all the links too. So just go to my blog and go and search dog head pieces or something like that. You'll find it.
Are you ready to get down? Just like get this hat off.
Well, on the other video we were talking about the little I'm gonna put her down.
Yes.
Bye, Lulu. We were talking about this little plaything. Go ahead and talk about it again.
Okay. Yeah, she wanted me to just talk about a few things that I've been making lately. So mostly I make a lot of stuff for babies or newborns, but I like Oma here. I call her Oma. That's what they call her.
The grandkids call me Oma. So.
Yeah, I make just about anything I love to crochet all the time.
Tina, that's funny. She said her dog gave her the stink eye. Maximo gives me the stink eye sometimes too.
That's so funny. But the wonderful people at Leisure Arts have been sending me some books to review, and I got to review this really fun book. It's called, I'm getting a glare on it, but it's called Icebox Crochet, and it's got like a little mini fridge and all these little bitty Amy foods, and to review it, I made some of the stuff out of the book, and I made like this little tray, and of course we had to have a turkey because it's Thanksgiving. My daughter absolutely loves this book. She wants me to make everything in it for her American Girl dolls, because the size that I made these are perfect. There's a little carrot. Of course, you need corn on the cob. So
of course.
There wasn't much other Thanksgiving things in there, but they've got different sections on food, on desserts, beverages, sides.
It even has a crochet refrigerator.
It has a crochet refrigerator.
You can crochet in a little refrigerator. I think that's adorable.
But I got to write a fun review on that. They have the actual book that you can get, and then they have a digital copy. And Leisure Arts has a huge Black Friday sale as well. And you can get there's 45 plus patterns in this book, and I think you can get it for under $8. I mean, that's a great deal. 45
patterns?
There's over 45 patterns.
Wow.
In there. So
that's a lot of fun.
But one of the things we had, I keep calling her Oma, Sara,
that's okay.
Posh Pooch Designs. One of the questions that she had for us this week, that she likes to answer a question each week on her show, and I'm forgetting this is her show.
That's okay.
But what was the question? Because it kind of goes along with
the question I got this week was, do I have to use the crochet hook that the pattern or designer calls for?
And the answer is no. I mean, you can. I mean, usually on the yarn labels, it'll have, use an H hook with this worsted weight yarn, or use an I hook, or use a K hook with this chunky yarn. Well, something similar to this book or with Amy is it gives you these might work well with I think what is it? Number 3 weight yarn. It's not a lace weight, maybe a fingering weight. And maybe it's sport weight. That's what I was like. There's too many different ones. But it gives you a suggestion and a hook, and then it says, well, you don't have to use that. So if you want really tiny little mini things, you could use, a lace weight and steel hooks that are really tiny. Or what I did is I wanted certain size for American Girl dolls. I just took worsted weight yarn that I have a ton of, and I think I used maybe an F hook or maybe even smaller. And all this stuff came out to a great size. And if you wanted a super huge turkey, maybe something fun to decorate, maybe on a wreath or a table setting, or just something fun.
It's fun to bring out with your families all gathered there and have a crochet turkey.
I've had this little thing sitting on my coffee table. It's like a fun little Thanksgiving, thing, and Calleigh comes and plays with it. But I mean, if you want a super huge one, you could get chunky yarn and a big hook and make a big turkey pillow. I don't know. I mean, of course, there's tons of different things in that book, but no, you don't have to use the hook. Now, when you're making maybe items and there's a gauge in there, you need to pay attention. But
sure,
for instance, we crochet totally different. She is a loose hooker, and sometimes I can be tight. I tend to be tight with smaller.
I'm a loose hooker, and she's frigid. How about that?
I tend to crochet loose when I'm working with chunky, but if I'm working on an H hook or smaller, I like Amy stuff, I crochet super tight. So it just depends. So depending on your tension, you may need to change your hook to match gauge, which we all hate checking, but it's super important.
One of the best things as a crocheter that you can have is a tape measure.
Yes.
Because you really, yes, because I mean, for instance, if you want to make this in a big chunky, and say you're using a chunky 6 and it calls for an end hook, as you're going along, if your holes are too big, you just go down a hook.
Yeah, because you don't want
size,
it to be too loose
right?
Either.
If you're making something that's rose, for instance,
this is a good example.
This hat is rose, and you want to make it fit a smaller child or a bigger child, if you measure as you go, you can know. One thing I tell people all the time, never finish the whole project without measuring.
Oh, I've made that mistake.
I have. And I learned years and years ago when I was first starting that a tape measure is so important because everyone does have a different tension. Your gauge is going to be different. Like we said, I crochet loose, but I knit tight.
Well, another good example, I'm making a blanket for a friend, and she sent me a specific pattern, and it called for a certain brand of wool and a certain hook, to match that gauge that she had. Well, we wanted to use different yarn because it was going to be real expensive. So I got Hobby Lobby's I Love This Yarn, and then I doubled it, working 2 strands at a time, and then I checked my gauge and measured it, and I'm using a different size hook than the pattern calls for, and I'm using different yarn, but it's still measuring out the same, and it's working great. So it's a great way to make substitutions if you don't have exactly what you need. So measuring and gauge.
Well, even for example, if she says, I want my blanket to measure 21 inches, which is just too small anyway, but, and then you do exactly what the pattern says and it's 28 inches. You need to adjust. Or you do exactly what it says and it's 8 inches. You just have to learn to adjust, and measuring is the key to that.
You're either going to have to do math and fix it, or you're going to have to adjust your hook, which doing the hook is, I don't like to think about the numbers, and neither does she.
Well, like I said, years ago when I was first starting to crochet, I never checked gauge, and I never even checked stitch counts. I just measured everything. And I got a book from a library book, and that's how that book taught me. And I don't even remember who the author was. Of course, it was years ago. And so, let's see, about 40 years ago. And that's how I learned. And I thought it was a great technique. It really is, just to measure as you go, and make adjustments as you go. I think I tend to be more of an artistic crocheter, or Elisabeth tends to be more of a technical
I'm very technical.
Crochet. And we talked about that a few videos ago. The other question I get all the time, and it's really, to me, it's kind of a silly question.
I love this question.
But do I have to use the same color yarn?
No!
Be
creative! Change it up!
Yeah. I mean, you do not have to make this hat in this plum color, although it is gorgeous.
No, I love it. Oh,
yes.
beautiful.
You don't have to make your elf hat green and red and yellow. Any pattern that any designer has written, you can use any color that you want. If it's a Christmas pattern and you don't want it to be Christmas, don't make it Christmas.
Use other colors. It's
and
okay.
Even if you do, just add a sparkle and it's Christmas.
Well, what's really fun is every now and then you'll see like a variegated or maybe a striped pattern, and you're like, oh, I don't want stripes, or you do want stripes. Add in the rows. Add stripes. Use a variegated yarn. You'll
Absolutely.
Get totally different looks. I wish I had some examples. But what was fun, if you don't mind,
go right ahead.
This is going to be a new free hat pattern on my blog, which is perfect for the Colorado snow.
Grab a little
I've got
coffee.
some cute pictures. So I have a few designs using this fun nubby stitch.
I love it. It's beautiful.
It's so like squishy and warm, and if you like pom-poms, I'm all about pom-poms.
Has a nice big one.
What was I talking about? Oh, colors. I got distracted. When I was first making it, I did the purple. I think she took
Let me
her
grab
hat.
that hat.
It's not striped.
I was just talking about different colors. She left her reindeer on this.
But like, you've got the purple here, and then like I did this, the Hobby Lobby I Love This Yarn. It's in a sparkle color, and she loves golden. So it gives it like a totally different flair of, like, I don't know, the gold gives it a fancy look, and this gives it a more, fun look. I'm working on one more size that's in stripes that you can do like every 2 rows that kind of chunks it up, and it doesn't make it look so girly. And I'm using boy color, so it kind of works for a guy, which sometimes we get stuck on, I need a hat for a guy. Well, this could work too if you manipulate the colors a little bit. So you don't always feel like you're stuck, using the same exact colors that the pattern is written in. You can have a little bit of creativity and making something totally unique and give it your own.
Well, sure. And even if you wanted to do this hat in a variegated, it would look, it would be perfect.
I started it that way, and you couldn't see the texture as well. So that's why
that's true.
Thank you. Thank you, Tina.
And that's true. A lot of times if you've got a nice textury hat, it is better maybe to do it in a solid. But sometimes the neat stuff of the hat or whatever you're making, cowl, scarf, or whatever, has to do with the variegation of the yarn. I know a big deal right now is all that yarn pulling.
Oh, the plan
pulling. And if you ask me, that was like the smartest thing Red Heart ever did, because I have a ton of variegated yarn And I don't know what to do with all of it, so I started doing some of the yarn pooling. I got some up there somewhere I did.
Yeah.
And I finally figured it out, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I know how to do that.
Yeah, it's really easy.
But people are buying their yarn again for variegated, so I mean, that was really smart.
Have you guys tried the plain pooling? Did you have good luck with it? I know that was really popular.
Yeah.
I tried like 4 different times and I was having trouble getting it to work. And I finally found I wasn't using yarn with a long enough color changes. So it was changing too short and I wasn't getting the argyle look. But yeah, I love it. It's fun.
If your colors are too short together, your color changes, it won't work. If they're too long, they won't work because then you had to make it really, long. Yeah. And so a lot of the Red Heart variegated are perfect for it. So if you've done it, go ahead and post a picture after our video.
Yeah, I'd love to see.
So anyway, the other question kind of going with it is, when I buy a yarn, it says what kind of hook to use with it. And do I have to use that hook? And the truth is that you don't. That hook is a suggestion that works well with that. But if you're doing something that maybe you're wanting a different look or technique, you don't have to use that hook. It's just a suggestion that when they were testing the yarn, that worked really well for it. So, okay, let me show you a few things I've got going on this week. If you look back here, that's my random. Oh, she said she got it the first time. Oh, are you talented? That's amazing. Yeah. I fought with it for like all evening one night.
I just had the wrong yarn.
Well, behind me is what I call my random Christmas cow, but it goes along with what we were talking about. You can use any random yarns. And I just did a video on this yesterday. I had it done for a while. I just finally edited it yesterday. So that's just leftover Christmas yarns that I had, and I put them together in that particular pattern. And that one's a free pattern on my blog. Then that I actually did the pattern, I think, 2 years ago for a Christmas in July thing. But anyway, it's free on my blog, and I did a video yesterday. Well, that's new. And then these are the Jingle Bell dog collars. Free pattern. I did a video last week on these. They're so much fun.
Not just lucky. I'm just lucky.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Okay, and then the other thing we did were these wonderful little stockings.
So
and here's another thing about changing colors. This one's solid. This one's variegated with sparkle.
I said this a second ago.
So they go with that too. And this one's pink. So, I mean, and there's a bunch more behind me I did of these, but that's something we did this week also. And then other thing I want to tell you about was, do you have some of these laying around your house?
I do, but they're not sparkly.
Well, Michael's, I want to say before Christmas last year, I had these on clearance, and I think I bought them for like $2. Do
they make them anymore?
I haven't seen these anywhere.
I don't know if they make the bonbons anymore.
But this is a question that I've had a few times. I've got these. What do I do with them? Well, if you look at my Christmas tree.
Oh, can you see it?
You might be able to, I don't know. But let me show you what I did. Because it's my yarn Christmas tree, I took these, and I just took a hook, stuck it like this, and hung them all over my Christmas tree.
So cute.
And it's a lot of fun if you're going to do a yarny tree, because up here in the yarn room, we have to do yarn.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's about all I've got today. I hope that you're all going to have a happy, happy, happy Thanksgiving. And those of you who aren't, are you still there?
It wouldn't be good if we didn't have one more technical difficulty.
Sorry about that. My phone decided to call me. I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, even if lost my train of thought. It's Thanksgiving this week in America, and those who are Americans who are celebrating it. But the truth of the matter is, we can be thankful no matter where we are. Even if we have very little, there are wonderful things to be thankful for, like family and friends and puppies.
Yes, puppies. Definitely puppies.
You want to shout out to your people?
So thank you for joining the live feed. If you came over from Callie's Clip, since we had a little bit of trouble over there, we ended it over there.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed getting to see a little bit of what I do on my side, and I have so much more. I hope you'll check out our Black Friday sales and the ones again, that we've teamed up with so many designers. I don't know what their discounts are, but I know ours is 75% off all our patterns. Oh, and then also, I forgot to mention, because we cut out before, right now, if like you're like, oh, I gotta go see what you have, in my Etsy shop only, I have just some special deals that I was giving out, and there's still some of those left. It's 10 patterns for 10, so that's like $1 each, and then, I'm gonna say it wrong, I think it's three for $5. So if you don't want as many, there's that. But some people see my patterns and are like, oh, I need them all. So if you haven't checked them out, be sure to check those out. And
there's always pattern bundles. I have them in my Etsy, and she has them in hers. There's always
but right now,
pattern bundles that give you good discounts.
Right now,
but if you want a really good deal, wait till Friday.
Oh yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Black Friday through Cyber Monday. 75% off.
Yep. And
Ravelry store only.
I'll have this freebie, and then you'll have... Did you talk about the hat you have on in this one?
Oh, no, I didn't. This is going to be a freebie on my blog on Friday. Isn't it adorable?
Mm-hmm. So if you need an elf hat, we'll both have some fun freebies along with our sale.
Yes, because I like smiling. Smiling's my favorite.
Smiling's our favorite. I was trying to think of another quote.
Well, thanks for popping in with us today and all the craziness.
Thank you.
I don't know what's going on with my internet, but glad we got to spend some time with you. And as my granddaughter says, stay crafty, my friends.